There have been a number of questions about VO2 Max testing and the exercise programs based on VO2 Max testing. So I wanted to just make a quick little video about myself and how, as a patient, I implement a program of exercise based on VO2 Max testing. Before I start demonstrating a couple of things about it, I just want to make one very emphatic point, that the testing doesn't just work by itself. There are really three components that make the program really effective. The first, of course, is having a program outline for yourself or developing a program for yourself that's based on keeping you in your aerobic zone and not getting into an anaerobic zone. To do that, the time of your exercise program and the way you monitor it is all important. You must have a continuous read heart rate monitor, such as the one shown on the screen. The second component of the program is making sure that you're properly hydrated. It's very important that you hydrate yourself during the day. Dr. Klimas first recommended to me that I consider using Gatorade, which I did for several months. In fact, I think I used a low-calorie Gatorade 2, I believe it's called. And then I discovered a product called Nuun, N-U-U-N, which I buy online. And I get it in tablet form, and I dissolve that in 24 ounces of water. And I drink at least 2 and typically 3 or 4 of those containers a day. It's very important that before you start your exercise session, that you take a good healthy drink of it, and immediately after, if not during your regimen, that you also drink plenty of fluid with a high electrolyte component. Whether it's Gatorade or Nuun, that's totally up to you. But it's really important that the drink not contain sugar or caffeine, and that it be very high in electrolyte. The third component is rest. Rest. It is just so important to pace yourself, not just during your exercise program, but throughout the day, so that you give your body a chance to recover as it's stressed throughout the day. So we're going to talk a lot about rest as I show you a couple of the exercises I do. But in addition to the rest periods that we take during our exercise, it's just essential that you rest throughout the day whenever you feel tired or whenever you're looking at your heart rate monitor and it shows that you're in a high activity period, that you go take 10, 15, 20 minutes and lay down completely prone, ideally in your bedroom, in a darkened room with no television, no tapes, no radio, no sound, no stimulus of any kind, and just allow yourself to relax and allow your body rather to do its best to recover. And you'll be surprised, it will. And for me, I take at least 2, usually 3, sometimes 4 or 5 of those rest breaks during the day. I typically know that I can work for an hour to 2 hours before I start feeling that weariness come over. That's the first sign that I'm getting into a crash state. And so that's when I head off to go lay down flat for a few minutes and just give my body a chance to recover. My day starts, or my exercise programs rather, start with a walk. I have a resting heartbeat of 50 beats per minute, a morning resting heartbeat. And so when I take my walk, I have a target ceiling of 92 to 94 beats per minute. And I'm now, after 10 months on this exercise program, I started at a 3-minute walk. I'm now up to 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and I time it that closely. I've got a standard little walk that I do outside my home, and I do that. And when I come in from that walk, as I've just done, after I rested a little bit, I cheated just a touch for the video, but after that walk, I come in and I lay flat. And I lay flat just like this. And I allow my body to recover. I've got a resting heartbeat of 50 beats per minute. I've been walking at 92, 94 beats a minute. I come in and I'm still usually in the 80s by the time I get in and on my yoga mat. And so I let my heartbeat get down to 65, 64, 62, somewhere between 60 and 62. And then I do what's referred to as an active rest. While prone, I'll do something to help my core, for example, like a leg lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which I do for 5 breaths. And I'll do 5 repetitions of that leg lift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My heartbeat is at 77 beats per minute, so I'm well under my exercise threshold. I'm ready to go out for the second block in my 3-block series of exercises I do. My second active rest is some upper body work. And so let's watch that and monitor my heartbeat along the way. So, in this case, I've got 8-pound weights in each hand. And I trust you can see me all right. And we do 1, 2. Best to do it slowly. 3, 4, 5. No more than 5 repetitions. Heartbeats at 74, 73, 71. Go to the next, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm at 77, 74, 72, 66, 64 beats a minute. Okay. There you have it. You might choose, if you do active rest, you might choose to do something very different than what I did. Just be sure and keep your repetitions to 5 or fewer. And don't let your heartbeat get anywhere near your exercise ceiling. Somewhere in the midpoint between your ceiling and your resting heartbeat is probably okay. Again, my resting heartbeat is 50 beats per minute. That's what it was this morning. My exercise ceiling is currently 92 to 94. And I was staying under 80, mid to high 70s, and that's a good place to be. So now, let's move on and show you what I do for my third active exercise. Now, the first 2 were walking at 92, 94 beats per minute. That's my ceiling, that's my exercise ceiling. But an active exercise doesn't mean that I have to be at that ceiling when I'm exercising. And so for my third active exercise, I do a series of yoga-based stretches and manipulations to loosen my body up and to allow it to stretch out a little bit, as well as get a little bit of aerobic exercise. So the first one I do right here. And I do a couple of moves just to loosen my upper back muscles and let go of some of the stress that I'm so good at putting into my body and holding in my shoulders and my neck. And I do just a few of these. And my heartbeat is at 87. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 81. 1, 2, 3, 83. And I'm going to show you one more of the yoga moves that I make, which I like a lot because I like to stretch out my lower back as well as my upper back. And so I make a move like this. 2, 3. And you'll forgive me for turning my back to you, but I always start with my left limb bent first. And then I do 1, stretching on the exhale. Inhale. 2, 3. Heartbeat's 86. Isn't that amazing? It's not necessary that you do the exercises I do. Don't do the ones I do. Work out your own. The point I'm trying to make is that you can get active exercise by walking, riding a bike or a stationary bike particularly, doing exercises in a pool or gently kicking on a board, or even a minute or 2 or 3 of swimming if you're physically able to do that. And things are generally a little easier on your body if you do them in the water. But you can do almost anything to get your heart rate going, and making sure that you don't exceed your duration ceiling, that you don't go beyond whatever point you're at, whether you start at 2 or 3 minutes of active exercise, or in my case, after 10 months, as I mentioned before, I'm now up to 5 minutes and 20 seconds of active exercise, and then I go prone, allowing my body to just rest and relax for a couple of minutes. Let me let you watch me just go down and close my eyes and just concentrate on my breathing and know that I'm on my path towards wellness.